Let's say you have a pet dog that barks excessively whenever someone comes to the door. You can use conditioning to modify this behavior. For example, every time someone comes to the door and your dog doesn't bark, you can give them a treat or a reward. This is called reinforcement. This will help your dog associate remaining calm with a positive reward. Or you can remove something your dog enjoys when they engage in undesirable behavior. For example, every time your dog barks excessively at the door, you can take away a toy or put them in a separate room for a short period of time. This is called punishment. With consistent reinforcement and punishment, your dog should learn that remaining calm when someone comes to the door is desirable behavior and excessive barking is not. Hi everyone, welcome back to Mindscape. Today we will learn about one of the prominent school in psychology, behaviorism. Behaviorism emerged as a dominant school of psychology during the early 20th century, primarily through the work of American psychologist John B. Watson. He is also considered as the father of behaviorism. This school focuses on the observable behavior of an organism rather than its internal mental processes. They believe that behavior is shaped by environmental factors such as reinforcement, punishment, and conditioning. Behaviorism was formally established with the publication of John B. Watson's classic paper, Psychology as the Behaviorist Views It. In this paper, Watson rejected mentalist methods, especially structuralism. Structuralism was a theoretical approach in psychology that focused on understanding the underlying structures of the mind and conscious experience by breaking them down into their basic components such as perception, sensation, and cognition. Structuralists believed that the best way to study the mind was through introspection, or the process of observing and analyzing one's own thoughts and feelings. Watson rejected structuralism because he believed that introspection was an unreliable method for studying the mind. He argued that introspection was subjective and could not be verified or tested, and it could not provide objective data on observable behavior. Instead, Watson believed that psychology should focus on studying observable behavior and environmental factors that shape it. He believed that behaviorism was a more scientific and objective approach to psychology that could provide measurable and testable data. So, in his paper, he detailed his philosophy on psychology as the science of behavior. He declared that psychology is a purely objective experimental branch of natural science. According to behaviorism, learning is a relatively permanent change in behavior that occurs as a result of experience and the environmental factors that shape it. Behaviorism has been influential in many areas of psychology, including education, animal training, and behavioral therapy. However, it has also been criticized for its narrow focus on observable behavior and for neglecting the role of internal mental processes in shaping behavior. Some of the prominent behaviorists are John B. Watson, who is also the founder of behaviorism, B.F. Skinner, Ivan Pavlov, and Edward Thorndike. There are several different types of behaviorism that have been proposed by psychologists over the years. Let us go through some of them. Number 1. Methodological behaviorism. Popularized by Watson, this type of behaviorism focuses only on observable behavior and rejects the idea of studying internal mental processes. Number 2, radical behaviorism. This approach, developed by B.F. Skinner, emphasizes the role of reinforcement and punishment. Skinner argued that behavior is shaped by its consequences and that internal processes are not necessary to explain behavior. Number 3, social behaviorism. This type of behaviorism, also known as cultural behaviorism, emphasizes the role of social and cultural factors in shaping behavior. They argue that behavior is not simply the result of environmental factors but is also influenced by cultural norms and values. Number 4, cognitive behaviorism. This approach combines behaviorism with cognitive psychology and emphasizes the role of internal mental processes in shaping behavior. Cognitive behaviorists argue that behavior is not simply the result of environmental factors but is also influenced by internal mental processes such as perception, memory, and thought. And finally, biological behaviorism. This type of behaviorism emphasizes the role of biology and genetics in shaping behavior. Biological behaviorists argue that behavior is not simply the result of environmental factors or internal mental processes, but is also influenced by genetic factors and physiological processes. Let's see some of the key principles of behaviorism. Number 1, behavior is determined by the environment. Behaviorists believe that behavior is shaped by the environment, including reinforcement, punishment, and conditioning. Suppose a person has a phobia of public speaking. According to behaviorism, the person's fear is a learned behavior that has been shaped by the environment. In this case, the person's fear may have been reinforced by negative experiences such as forgetting their lines, stuttering, or receiving criticism. To change the person's behavior, the environment can be modified. For example, the person could be gradually exposed to public speaking situations in a controlled environment, such as a public speaking group or workshop. By gradually increasing the person's exposure to public speaking in a positive context, the fear can be extinguished or reduced. Number 2, focus only on observable behavior. Behaviorists emphasize the importance of studying observable behavior rather than internal mental processes. This means that behaviorists tend to focus on what can be seen, measured, and quantified. Suppose a company wants to improve the productivity of its employees. The company could use behaviorism principles by focusing on observable behavior and using positive reinforcement to increase the behavior. The observable behavior in this case could be the completion of tasks and meeting deadlines. The company could provide positive reinforcement by praising employees each time they complete a task on time or meet a deadline. Additionally, the company could provide incentives such as bonuses or promotions to further reinforce the behavior and motivate employees to continue meeting deadline and completing tasks on time. By focusing on observable behavior and using positive reinforcement to increase the behavior, the company is using behaviorism principles to shape employee behavior to increase productivity. Number 3, learning occurs through association. Behaviorists believe that learning occurs through the association between stimuli and responses. Suppose a child has a favorite toy that makes a specific sound when it is pressed. Over time, the child learns to associate the sound with the toy and will seek out the toy when they hear the sound. And finally, behavioral modification. Behaviorists believe that behavior can be modified through reinforcement, punishment, and other methods. This means that individuals can be trained to exhibit certain behavior or to stop exhibiting undesirable behaviors. Now, let us see some of the strength of behaviorism. Number 1. Its empirical approach. Behaviorism is an empirical approach to studying behavior, which means that it relies on empirical data and scientific methods to explain behavior. This makes it a highly objective and testable approach. Number 2, it is useful for behavior modification. Behaviorism has been shown to be useful in modifying behavior in a variety of settings such as education, animal training, and mental health treatment. The principles of operant conditioning and classical conditioning can be used to change problematic behaviors. Number 3, it is easily quantifiable. Behaviorism focuses on observable behavior, which means that it is easy to quantify and measure. This makes it useful for research as well as for tracking progress in behavior modification programs. Number 4, its practical applications. Behaviorism has practical applications in a variety of fields such as education, sports, marketing, etc. For example, teachers can use the principle of behaviorism to reinforce positive behaviors in students, while marketers can use classical conditioning to create positive associations with their products. Behaviorism has had a significant impact on the field of psychology and has influenced the development of many other psychological theories and therapies. While it has been criticized for its limited focus on observable behavior and its lack of attention to mental processes, behaviorism continues to be an important and influential perspective in the field of psychology. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it and want to see more, please consider subscribing to my channel for future content. Take care. Bye.